Last weekend, about 10,000 people filled the streets of DC participating in the Million MAGA March. And as you might have guessed, scores of maskless, conspiracy believing, unscientific Americans filled Freedom Plaza. They were dressed in patriotic colors and waving flags, shouting, ranting, and chanting, and making a ruckus. But one thing they were not doing so great with, I noticed, was social distancing. Go figure. To an outsider who didn't know any better, maybe someone from another galaxy or something, it might have looked like a lovely celebration. But what made this protest so incredibly special was that the people participating in it were all immersed in an alternate reality. Yes, I said it. Let me explain what I mean. I mean, they were delusional, okay? And maybe not in the clinical sense, okay? And I'm not into name calling, but they've chosen for one reason or another to believe in a vast array of conspiracy theories that there so far really is no proof for, and they believe that Biden and Harris did not win fairly, and most of them were there to protest it. But I'm not buying that for 1 minute. I mean, I know they believe that, but it was kind of scary for me personally, because I've never seen that many people believing in lies. And so it's a little, I don't know. I want to know what you guys think. Trump and the Republican Klan that back him know very, very well that the election is absolutely legit. If the votes against the president were fraudulent, then the Republican wins in the House and Senate were also fraudulent because they're on the same ballot. So either the entire ballot is fraudulent or not. So this is kind of a dangerous stunt by Trump and the politicians in the White House who are afraid to stand up to him because they know he'll sick his Klan followers on them. Whenever their election comes up, they're going to be screwed. It's really scary stuff. So according to NPR's Hannah Alam, these marchers believe there was no question that their numbers were in the millions, that Trump did not win the election, it was stolen from him, and that Antifa is our nation's largest threat, socialism is lurking around the corner, the coronavirus pandemic is all hype, and there are children being trafficked by a cabal of global elites, and that the nation's valiant, outnumbered police are under attack. One thing that is undeniable, and that's that the crowd gathered in DC this past weekend unconditionally, and I mean unconditionally, support Trump, a man who's run a campaign from the very beginning on making America great, which of course is really a dog whistle for the good old days. We want the good old days back when white folks could legally treat their fellow humans like a piece of shit, like they weren't worthy of contact with white people. In fact, the entire mantra, "Make America Great Again," is wrought with white supremacy, misogyny, racism, discrimination, classism, all bound by a vow of total willful ignorance. In the mix of individual supporters, there was an array this past weekend, of white supremacists, hate groups who are boldly showing their affiliation with flags, clothing, signs, and other paraphernalia. The point is that 70 million people, probably more, there's those that didn't vote, believe these factless, unscientific, nonsensical conspiracy theories, just like their president seems to, or maybe he doesn't, even when government insiders reveal that Trump loathes his supporters and basically thinks they're all imbeciles who believe in this garbage, and they still revere him. I don't get it. I do not get it. Their behavior is cult-like. Instead of using their critical thinking skills, Trump supporters seem to have this willingness to promote the lies, misunderstandings, rumor, propaganda, and tons of fear. And definitely no research. No research. I don't know if they simply don't understand cause and effect, if they're just gullible. Some people are gullible. Are they just racist as fuck? Okay, I just said it. I'm just asking. I don't know. But the Dunning-Kruger effect would explain that the problem isn't just misinformation. It's that they are very unaware that they are misinformed. They are unaware of the level of misinformed they are. So it's a toughie. The result ends up that people believing that all opinions are equal. And, correct, and that somebody who didn't study the subject and doesn't have a PhD in that particular area and hasn't spent their entire life studying the subject, their opinion is equal to someone who just learned the word yesterday. And unfortunately, this is kind of what we're getting. And it's not good. Trump supporters' conspiracy theories all seem to center around a central theme. Let's make America white again. Let's blame all of our problems on black, brown, and indigenous people. And I bring up this quote probably every other time because it just is too perfect. I'm not sure about the person, if this person was perfect, but his quote was spot on. So here it is again. It's very antiquated, kind of obnoxious and rude, so forgive me. Lyndon B. Johnson. If you can convince the lowest white man he's better than the best colored man, he won't notice you're picking his pocket. Hell, give him someone to look down upon, and he'll empty his pockets for you. I truly believe this is the disease that we white folks are ailing from. So why am I fixed on this giant weekend of mass fantasy in Washington, D.C.? Well, one reason might be because I got to go to Washington, D.C. for the first time this year, and it was totally exciting. But that's not really it. Why am I ranting like a lunatic? Because I like it. No, because unlike Trump, who will be ousted from the White House, which he did not win, these folks aren't going anywhere. These are our neighbors, our friends, our colleagues. These are our fellow citizens. And you don't need me to tell you that this is a lot of people that voted for Trump. And, the crazy thing is they're not just voting against, our best interest. They're actually voting against their own best interest, unless they're billionaires or millionaires. According to experts in the field, Trump plans to use these folks who have been tricked to do his extortion, to keep his power over policymakers long after he leaves the office. And I truly believe that is what he's doing. Experts like, and let me see, I have the book here, like Anne Applebaum, who wrote the book, The Twilight of Democracy, believe that this base, the one that believes anything Trump says, no matter how loony, will continue well after Trump's out to hold power over the Republicans, even after he leaves or is booted out or what have you. This group of people will be used to continue to extort politicians in doing what Trump wants. And I don't think this is ever done. I'm no historian, but I don't think this has ever been done in our history. This is a really scary thing. It's going to play something like this. Do what Trump wants, or we'll boot your ass out of office next time you're up for election. The fact is, it's Trump's MO to do this. He's a con. He's into extortion. And 2 days ago, Trump sent a message via Twitter to the Ohio governor, Mike DeWine, about after he recognized Joe Biden as the president-elect and said it was time for a transition to take place and the next administration to begin. Well, Trump ended up basically threatening him. Never exactly direct. I don't think he's that stupid, but he knows what he's doing. He said, who will be running for governor of the great state of Ohio will be hotly contested. In other words, he's going to send his people after this person. Now, this guy's not up for election yet until 2022, but this is the kind of behavior this is how he rolls. And I have no doubt he'll be keeping that promise. So this is some scary, scary, scary stuff.